You may know this scene very well. It is late. You lie in bed with your phone in your hand. Messages, images, and small circles with faces move across the screen. You are connected with more people than your grandparents ever imagined. Yet inside there is a quiet sentence that says, I am alone. If you stay with me in this reflection, I hope something happens. You may begin to see your loneliness in a different light. You may discover one or two small steps that bring you closer to real community. The question I would like us to walk with is simple. What would it mean for you to belong through real contribution? Not only to be seen, but to be needed. Now, let us consider a scene that returns later. A woman sits at a family Christmas dinner. Candles, laughter, plates, and gifts fill the table. Her phone rests beside her plate, buzzing from time to time. Everyone talks, yet she feels strangely outside the circle. She smiles, nods, and adds a joke when she can. Inside, she has a thought. If I were not here, nothing would change. We will come back to her. So far, we have been looking at the feeling itself. Many contacts, little closeness, many words, little true sharing of life. In my work, I saw that loneliness is rarely about numbers. You can feel deeply lonely in a crowd. You can feel quietly held by one person who really meets you. For the human soul, contact is not enough. We long for community feeling. We long to feel, I belong here, and what I do matters. The modern world offers constant signals that you exist. A new message, a like, a short reply. This can feel like a small drink of water in a desert. Yet these signals often lack a shared task. We are side by side but not moving together. We do not build, repair, or care for something in common. You might ask yourself this today. In which places of my life do I actually share tasks with others? Where do we rely on one another in a real way? From an Adlerian view, the core of mental health is social interest. This is the sense that I am part of the human community, that I can cooperate, contribute, and take my small place. When this feeling is weak, loneliness grows. It is not only that others seem far away, it is that we no longer feel useful to them. Now think of how easily we compare our lives online. You see perfect rooms lit for the holidays. You see families that look harmonious in every frame. If you already feel uncertain about your worth, these images hurt. You may say to yourself, everyone else has their circle. My place is always somewhere on the edge. This is the old wound of inferiority speaking. We all begin life feeling small and helpless. We all create our own way of striving to feel significant. Some try to be the most admired. Some try to be needed by doing everything for others. Some try to avoid all risk and stay unseen. In a hyper-connected world, these patterns continue on new stages. The wish is still the same. Please let me be someone who counts. Here I invite a first small experiment. It may seem almost too simple. Precisely for that reason, it is powerful. In the next days, choose one person in your circle, not to impress, not to complain, not to show a perfect image. Ask a very small, real question about their life. For example, how are you really holding up this week? Or is there anything small I can take off your plate? Listen with full attention to whatever comes back. This is a movement from notice me to let me be of use. You cannot control their answer. Your task is not their reaction. Your task is your own willingness to participate. This is what I call the separation of tasks. What belongs to you is your attitude and your effort. What belongs to the other is their response. So far, we have looked at loneliness and small acts of interest in a moment. I would like to return to our woman at the Christmas table. Before that, notice what happens in you as you imagine this experiment. Does it feel warm or does it feel frightening? Now we are back at the dinner. The same family, the same sounds, the same lights inside the woman still carries the thought, I am unnecessary here. On this evening, she tries something new. Instead of checking her phone when she feels invisible, she turns to one person. She asks the old uncle at the corner, what was your hardest winter as a child? Then she waits. At first he shrugs and jokes. Then he tells a memory of standing in the cold after the war. Others at the table turn toward him. For a few minutes, the room grows quieter and more attentive. A woman does not become the center of the feast. No miracle takes place, yet something small shifts. For a moment she feels, I helped create a real conversation here. I do not tell this story as a recipe. Not every question opens a heart. Not every family is ready to respond. The point is different. She moves from asking, do they see me too? Can I help us meet? She steps from passive waiting into active contribution. In that movement, community feeling begins to grow. You might remember the small step we spoke of earlier. A simple question, a moment of full attention. These are not grand gestures, but they are real. Now let us widen the view. Many people feel especially lonely as Christmas approaches. There is a strong picture of how life should look. Warm gatherings, perfect partners, peaceful children, grateful parents. You may feel that your loneliness is a personal failure. You may think, everyone else has found their place except me. Here I want to offer encouragement. Loneliness is not proof that you are broken. It is a signal that your longing for community is alive. It is your soul saying, I am meant to give and receive more than this. We cannot always change our outer situation quickly. We may not have a large family or a close partner. We may live in a city where people rush past one another. Yet even in such places, small communities can grow. A neighbor you greet every day, a group that shares a hobby or a cause, a colleague with whom you speak honestly once a week. I invite a second gentle experiment for this season. Choose one shared task that is small and concrete. Help bake for a gathering. Join a local effort to collect food or gifts. Offer to walk an elderly neighbor's dog. Do not aim to be the hero. Aim only to be one reliable part of a shared effort. Notice how you feel before, during, and after this task. You may still feel shy. You may still feel somewhat outside. This is normal. The courage to be imperfect means we act even while these feelings remain. Over time, your style of life can shift from proving your worth through image to living your worth through contribution. So far, we have been circling around one guiding question. What would it mean for you to belong through real contribution? By now, you may have your own words for it, your own images. As we come to a close, I want to speak directly to you. If you feel painfully alone in this hyper-connected world, you are not strange. You are a human being who has not given up on the wish to belong. Your loneliness does not have the final word. Each small act of interest, each shared task is a step toward others. These steps may be quiet, almost invisible from the outside. Yet inside, they build a new story about who you are. You are not a problem to be fixed. You are a person learning how to turn contact into community. This learning takes time, it also takes courage. In the days ahead, you might return to our question. You might ask in the morning, where can I offer one small contribution today? You might ask in the evening, where did I try, even a little, to move closer? In this way, your reflection today becomes part of a longer path. There are many other themes we could explore in future conversations. For now, I am glad you walked through this one with me. May you feel even slightly more that you are part of the great human community. Thank you for taking this time to reflect with me. If something in these thoughts has been helpful or encouraging, you might choose to stay connected here, perhaps by subscribing or by leaving a small sign of appreciation for this conversation. You may also wish to pass it on to someone who could use a gentle word today. In this way, we continue to grow together in courage, in belonging, and in quiet mutual encouragement.